Hello everyone and welcome back to a new tutorial series where we're going to be creating Undertale in Scratch. In this first episode we're going to be putting in the sprites into Scratch and we're not going to really be programming any movement or anything for Frisk, but we will just be putting in the sprites and getting everything set up here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download these two sprite sheets from the internet. I will link the URL in the description, so if you want to download them. We have a Frisk sprite sheet here and the Ruin sprite sheet. The first one contains all the player sprites that we're going to be using, so it has the main character where you can control, it has all the up, down, left, right sprites, and then the Ruin sprite sheet, we have the background for the ruins, which is the first area in the game. By the way, I just want to say, if you haven't played Undertale, this tutorial probably will have spoilers in it, but it won't be for until later on, so I wouldn't worry too much about that to start with. And there probably won't be that many major spoilers in this, to be honest. So anyway, so what I've done is I've created a folder here called edited, where I've put in all the edited sprites. So what we're going to have to do is open this sprite sheet up in Gimp. If you haven't downloaded Gimp, it's a very good program. You can use it to edit sprites and graphics and stuff. It's free as well, which is great. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be editing this with Gimp, and then we're going to be putting these sprites into different files so we can import them into Scratch easily. So we have down 1, down 2, down 3 and down 4. We have left 1, left 2, right 1 and right 2, and all the up ones as well. So in a minute we'll be getting into editing that sprite sheet in Gimp. Also what we're going to be doing is putting the ruins images into different files. So we have ruins 1, and I think ruins 2 I changed the dimensions for that. Ruins 2 we're not going to be using. This is the second room of the game. We're going to be focusing on this one here, ruins 1, which is the first room of the game, as you can see here. If you've played Undertale, that'll be very familiar to you. So let's get started. So click on your Frisk sprite sheet and click on edit with Gimp, and then that will open it with Gimp, as you can see here, and we'll zoom in, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut out each individual sprite and then put them into new files and then save them, just so we can import them to Scratch very easily. So what you're going to want to do is get the select tool, zoom in so you can see everything, and then basically we're going to surround each one with a little box, and then once you've got it happy, if you didn't draw it out correctly, then you can just resize it with this. But once you've got it all around Frisk like that, do Control-C on your keyboard and then do File, Create from Clipboard, and that will give us a whole new file with the individual sprite in it. And then what you want to do is do File, Export, and save that to your computer somewhere into a nice little folder where you've got all your Frisk sprites. And then basically what you're going to want to do is just close that, and then repeat the process for all the different sprites. And if you don't want to do this, I do have a zip file in the description if you want to just download all the individual sprites. So yeah, you don't have to do this process, but if you want to do this, then there you go, that's how you do it. Okay, so now you're going to want to open up the Ruins sprite sheet. So if you zoom in here, you'll be able to do exactly the same thing that you did for the Frisk sprite sheets, but just to surround this with a big box, and you're going to have to zoom in and correct, just make sure it goes around everything. And if you go to the other side, it looks to be alright. So yeah, just get it around the black border and that should be fine. And then what you're going to want to do is Control-C again, do Create from Clipboard, and save that and put that somewhere. And yeah, and now we're going to get into Scratch. Okay, so now we're in Scratch. You're going to want to make a brand new project, and first of all go into your cat sprite and delete this costume too, and then we're going to upload a costume from file. Now you should have all your Frisk sprites here, but to start with we're going to be using our ruins backgrounds that we made. So find your ruins background. I have a few here, but ruins 1 is the one we're going to be using. So open this one up, and that will give us the background of the first room of the game. You can get rid of the cat now, and you want to rename this to Ruins 1, just like that. And this is kind of going to be a consistent naming we're going to be using for each of the rooms. So we're going to have like ruins or whatever location we are in, and then the number of the room. So each room will have a unique name, I guess. So zoom out a little bit, and you can see we've got all the background here. Now in terms of scripts for this thing, we're just going to have a when the green flag is clicked, and in here we're going to set the size of this thing to 150, because right now it is quite small, and that will make it a lot bigger, so it's easier to see. 150 is the maximum you can set it to. Now in terms of its X and Y, I found quite a good X and Y location. Where is it? Go to X and Y. I think I found X was 200 and Y was 7, and this kind of for some reason seems to center it well. But yeah, that's kind of to center the flowers, like at the start of the game you land right on the flowers here, and this kind of centers it in the middle of the screen. So yeah, that might be a good corner if you want to use those. And the final thing we need to do for this is go to looks again, and we're going to go back 1,000 layers or 2,000 layers, or however many layers you want, but you basically want this to go to the back because you don't want anything to be in front of this. Okay, so that is good for Ruins 1. Now what you want to do is duplicate this and rename this to Ruins 1 background, and basically what this is going to be is it's going to be like the collision detection for this thing, and that will become more clear when we actually start programming the game, I guess. But yeah, what you're going to want to do is name it like this, and go to costumes. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to get rid of all the parts where Frisk can walk, and everything else where he can't walk we're going to leave in, if you see what I mean. So this black area around the edge of the little map here, we're going to keep, so basically Frisk can't go through that. This might sound weird to start with, but it will become clearer while we're doing this later on. But yeah, just make everything black outside here, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this part in the middle with transparent stuff. So get the fill thing and get the transparent color, and you're just going to want to fill in everything and make it all transparent. Now for these flowers we're just going to have to use the select tool and just select it and delete it. And just make sure there are no no little bits of color anywhere in here, so it's all transparent. You're also going to want to cut out a little bit for the door right here. So if you get the select tool again and just kind of position your mouse kind of close to the edge of the door right here, and drag it out here and just cut a little hole, probably about this big. That'll probably be fine. Just so Frisk can kind of walk into the door, yeah, and then that will be that for the background. In terms of scripts for this thing, we're going to still want the size to 150%. You can make it go to X that and that to start with. You can still go back that many layers. One thing we need to set the ghost effect to 100. And this will mean that it's still there effectively, so it can still have scripts acting in it and stuff, and it can still have collision detection with other things, but it will mean it's invisible, like we can't see it. So also in Ruins 1, let's just fill in the background with black, so it's all black. Also probably fill this in black as well, the stage background. Alright. So yeah, the other thing we need is a forever loop in here. Make sure you're in Ruins 1 background, put in the forever loop, and we're going to say go to sorry, excuse me, go to Ruins 1 the whole time, and that should be good. Okay, so now we're going to put in Frisk, and you're going to want to get your down 1 sprite and just use that. Rename this guy to Frisk. And also you're going to want to set the rotation style to no rotation, so basically when we rotate him around he won't do this basically, which we don't want him to do that. We want him to do that and just stay still, because we'll just be controlling that by changing the costumes. So yeah, click on Frisk, go into costumes, and basically what you're going to want to do is you've already got down 1, so you're just going to import all these different ones right here. Down 1, down 2, down 3, down 4, and just keep doing this for all of them, and for some reason my cursor is changing to a bucket. Okay, right 1, right 2, up 1, up 2, and once you've done this, once you've got all of them imported like this, we're going to have to get rid of the purple background. So if you click on the first one and get the fill bucket and get the transparent color, zoom in a little bit, and you're just going to want to click out the purple stuff because we don't want that to be in the game. So yeah, just do this for each of the sprites. I'll probably cut to the point where I finish this. Okay, so once you've done that, all your sprites should have no transparency. No transparency, should have transparency. So yeah, that should be good. Now in terms of scripts for Frisk, we're not going to put in that many at the moment because we're mainly just putting the sprites this episode. But what you're going to want to do is make him go to 0, 0 to start with. So 0, 0, and that will just center him in the middle right here. And if you've used the coordinates that I said for Ruins 1, he should be pretty much in the middle of the flowers. So yeah. Also, we're going to want to go to looks and go to front because Frisk is normally at the front of everything. And also we need to set the size of Frisk to 110% because he is a little small, and I think 110% personally looks fairly good. I don't know. It's up to you guys. You can change this to whatever you want really, but I think 110% is kind of accurate to the original game. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put in a top, bottom, left and right sensor for Frisk, which is basically going to control his collisions, you know, at the sides of him. So what you're going to want to do is duplicate Frisk and get rid of all these sprites. So just click it all out. Probably just leave in one of them, leave in down 4 or something, and then what you're going to want to do is duplicate this. And we can work on this. Can be the left sensor to start with, and yeah, just name it that. Don't worry about any of this; it doesn't really matter. But what you basically are going to want to do is get the rectangle. Actually, before you do that, convert to vector because it makes it a lot easier. So use this rectangle here, and have whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter. I'll just use blue, I guess, or something like that. And what you're going to want to do, because this is the left sensor, you're going to want to draw a little rectangle on the side of Frisk, and we're going to use this for the collisions, so it will make it a lot easier for us. And so, oh, I forgot one thing. If you go back to vector and Frisk isn't, sorry, not Frisk, Scratch is not the best for graphics editing, so yeah, you might just find this a little annoying to work with sometimes, but hopefully it'll be alright for you. So yeah, make sure, I don't know if you saw what I just did there, but make sure it was on, down here, select the solid color rather than having it just as an outline. So yeah, you're going to want to make it about this big, I would say. It doesn't really need to be up and down. It doesn't need to be that big up and down. You don't want to have it like that or like that. You want to just kind of have it about this. It's just so it doesn't trigger the top and bottom collisions. It only triggers the left collision, if you see what I mean. So make it about that big, I would say. Something like that. That should probably work. And now we're going to want to get rid of Frisk. So convert it back to bitmap and select Frisk all the way up to the sensor and just delete on your keyboard. So then we've got this nice little sensor that's aligned to Frisk properly, and then you can click that to update it, and you can kind of see that it's on the left side of Frisk now. In terms of scripts for this, you just want to forever, where is it? Forever. Oh, and yeah, you're also going to want set size to 110% because you want it to be the same size as Frisk, and since Frisk is 110%, or whatever size you set Frisk to, make sure it's the same for the left sensor. And then basically go to motion, and just do go to frisk, and it's as simple as that really. We're going to be putting more collision detection stuff in later in like the sensors, but for now that's all we really need. So you're going to want to duplicate this, rename this one to right sensor, I guess, yeah, just get rid of this and repeat the process of duplicate it, and then convert to vector, draw a rectangle, and you can make it a different color, I guess, just to distinguish the two, and just do something like that. And I guess I can show you real quick kind of what it needs to be. Something like that should do. And then again, delete, remove frisk from the sprite, so just do that, and then that's good. Click it to update it, and as you can see when we do this, they both go to frisk, and as you can see they're on the left and right side of frisk like that. So I'll just repeat the process to the top and bottom sensors, and then we should be done for this episode. Oh, 1 second, I forgot to mention for the top sensor, make sure you put it kind of down here in front of Frisk's face, because basically what we're going to want to do is when Frisk moves up towards a wall, like say here, we want his head to kind of go over into the wall, if you see what I mean, to make it look more realistic. So for the top sensor, we're going to put this one like around here, and if you don't understand why, don't worry too much about at this point, but it'll become more apparent when we actually put in the collision detection for Frisk. So yeah, put it around there, something like that, just above his neck, just something like that. And then again, edit out frisk. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Okay, so once you finish that, you should have the left sensor, right sensor, top sensor, and bottom sensor. Make sure your top sensor is kind of in frisk right there. And that is really basically what we're going to be doing in this video. In the next episode, we're going to be adding in the movement for frisk and stuff, so we can actually walk around. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first episode, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you're excited for this series. I'm kind of excited for it. And yeah, in the next episode we're going to be adding in movement, and we might start trying to do transitions to other rooms, but for right now that's all we're going to do this episode. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.